Alright, there we are. Looks like it's operational. So, I'm going to play through this game called End of File real quickly because I had someone in my YouTube comments ask me actually if I wouldn't mind just playing through it, just since they don't have a computer. This is actually for Joey McFloey. Says, "Hey Nick, could you also upload full gameplays of these games? My computer doesn't work very well, and I can't download any of these games because of that. Keep up the great work." So you know what, Joey McFloey? No problem, man. I'm going to play through this game for you because it's real good, and you should see it anyway. So yeah, let's do that. So I don't know if everybody here watched the Indie Impressions episode I posted of this today. It's a really, really good first-person puzzle platformer. Very short. Well, reasonably short. It's like maybe 30 minutes-ish. Probably going to be shorter now that I know all the puzzle solutions already, but I think it'll be cool to go through anyway. If you don't want to be spoiled on this, I would recommend watch the first couple of minutes or watch the Indie Impressions video and then go download this yourself because it's actually free. And this is a prototype of a bigger game, so there's no reason why you can't download and play around with this, aside from maybe if your computer won't run it. So don't be dissuaded by this really weird-looking first room. There's little tiles all over everything. There's little seams. We're going to execute. Yeah! Yep, this definitely has a bit of an Antichamber vibe. It's like Antichamber meets Fract meets Fez meets... I don't know, there's like 2 or 3 other... Oh, Cube is also in there a little too. I thought when I read your title you were deleting your Rebirth file and stop playing it. Nah. Alright, so we've landed. Let's have a look around, shall we? So we've got this thing off in the distance here. We can't actually interact with this, but we can jump up and look around a little bit. Looks like we can fall down there. Can't actually. Just moves you back over. Also, I didn't look over here last time. Is there anything you can do in this direction? You stand up in the windowsill and look down. It looks like I can fall down there. Is that textured? Oh yeah, it is. Yep, totally can't do that. Alright, let's go through the tube like we're meant to. If you asked if I would finish Eternal Daughter, would you do it? Potentially on a stream, I could one day. Alright, so here we are. And what we've got is a very cool little scenario where the general premise of this game involves lining up things with perspective to try and create little, you know, illogical puzzle sequences. So in this one, it says little nugget here says, look. What we're going to do is line these 2 bits up with this box, and the game will kind of do the rest for us, hopefully, if we get it close enough. Right about there. Yep, that looks good. Just kind of hold that pose for a second. The world kind of glitches out, and now we can walk. Isn't that adorable? And now if we want to, we can actually mess around in the extraneous extra areas that the level designer saw fit to give us. We can actually climb up some of the walls here. And over the rainbow and through the woods, we've got a little Easter egg thing. Isn't that cute? So let's just jump off of there. Use the tube power. Mag, the puzzles, being that they have digital movement, it's not actually so bad. The game sort of auto-adjusts when you get close to reaching where you need to be. So if you're just slightly shy of solving the puzzle, it'll actually just sort of move you, nudge you just a tidbit over. So this one, we got to build a bridge, clearly. We want to get across that gap there. So let's find the way to focus all of these chunks together so we can accomplish that goal. Shouldn't be anything too difficult. There's 2. I'll see if I can pseudo speedrun part of this here, because I already know most of these solutions. Again, if you have any interest in playing this, probably don't watch me play this right now. There we go. Perfect. Hopefully my mouse and keyboard sounds are not click-clacking too much. I forgot to put the pillow back under my keyboard that I usually put whenever I do first-person games. And hopefully the sound is reasonably audible. I mean, there's not a ton going on, but it, you know, it sets the mood well. Got some good ambience going on. I really like this scene. I don't even understand exactly what, like, all of this is supposed to be, other than the fact that this right here is supposed to be a clock. Watch as it comes together, it's pretty cool. There we go. So we'll assemble that as we progress through the levels. Anyway, to get to all the levels, we actually want to look for these crystals. Crystals can be activated, and will open doors. Alright, so we've got a little boxy world. We've got some kind of wind chimey... I don't even know what you call these things. I almost wanted to say tesseract, but I'm pretty sure that's, like, absolutely not what that is. I actually know what a tesseract looked like. That is not it. Alright, tutorialization, telling me to click on things I can do. And for once, you guys don't have to be frustrated as I get stuck somewhere in this game, because I don't think that should happen, thankfully. Should know exactly what I'm doing. Could I link the game site? Please do! I'm going to end up posting this on YouTube, so I will of course have the link in the description if anybody's watching it from there. But for the sake of stream viewers, yeah, by all means, please go right ahead. So we're going to push these little pegs right through the floor there. Not really necessary, I think you can do that from up top. Aw, thanks, Flames. Alright, so here is our exit up on top of this wall here. We're going to have to create some stairs to get up there in one way or another. And we see there's a little blue nugget over there. Blue nuggets are generally the game's way of telling you there's something that needs to be aligned properly before you can proceed. So let's see about extending all of these to as far as they'll go. And did I not get them all? Oh, there might have been another... Oh no, this one probably. Yeah, there we go. Once we line that one up, then we've got a whole series of these sort of turquoise edges that we can now use this thing to line up like that. And bam, we've got stairs. Easy peasy. I really like this room right here. This one's so trippy. I love looking around at it. It's like, it really kind of messes with your ability to understand up and down for a moment. It almost feels like you lose the perspective of what the ground is, and almost feels like you're the one spinning and not everything else. Especially because it happens in both directions. It's also just visually really cool to see. All it really is just a series of slats kind of all moving at different paces, and it just creates this crazy pattern. Yeah, this game is very, very well done. It's outstanding compared to a lot of the things that I cover on the channel. It's like far more developed, I guess, is the way to say it. Not that I'm trying to put down other things that are less developed, but I just mean this one has quite a bit going for it that's already finished. Whereas a lot of things are all works in progress. So we're going to create some stairs here. Stairs are all going to turn blue, and we can line these suckers right up by backing up against this wall. And there we go. All of a sudden, we have a path through. Perspective didn't even matter. We didn't have to mess around. Just kind of go right ahead. That was almost not even a room, really. I basically just flew right through that. Okay, so this takes us to the beginning of the first terrace. As you can see, this is where we came out originally. There's the crystal that we walked through to get into the first area. And that big door over there, of course, is going to be our ultimate destination. But in order to get to there, we have to finish walking through all of these other various tubes and solving all these other puzzles. So this one, still sealed. That one over there seems to have a crystal to it, so we're going to go in that direction. So much motion going on, too. I guess it's just a bunch of slats happening off in the distance. Yep, I did do a game called Perspective on Indie Impressions, and that actually had a very similar premise to it. That one involved, it was sort of like a 2D platformer, though. It was sort of a pseudo 2D, 3D hybrid mechanic, This one is just strictly, you know, a 3D platform puzzle game, which I don't know if that's for everybody necessarily, but I really like the look and feel of it. It's kind of grand in scale and just very interesting, mysterious. So we can actually just jump up on these suckers if we really want to. We've turned them all blue. Now the question is, how do we use them to get up there? Well, good thing I've noticed these little fragments. Whenever you see fragments, you probably want to go and look at things from the other side, especially when there's a right angle involved. So we're going to find our way down to that little pier thing, and the way to that is through here. It's a little bit of a jaunt to get down. It's one of these games, unfortunately, where you basically hold shift for the entire game, because the walk speed is very slow. I don't really understand why that happens so frequently, but whatevs. So just need to find a way to line all these up properly. Right about here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so those have all aligned. You see the door is open. Now I just have to run back in the other direction. Yeah, Perspective was actually a game by students at the DigiPen Institute, so it was a student-designed game for a project of some kind. I don't remember exactly what it was for, but DigiPen has turned out a lot of really fantastic, developers, as well as just even little bits of ideas that have come together. Thank you very much, InDevelopment, for the subscription. Welcome to the quarry, my friend. I actually was going to turn off notifications. I forgot about that and scared me a little bit. But, yeah, anyway. We're in the next area here. Things are a lot more cubic over in this region. There seems to be a lot more going on. This actually looks like a very large area at first glance. But this is actually one of the nice touches that I really like about this game. This area is basically entirely vestigial. Like, it's not really necessary to be here. There's nothing puzzle progression-wise about this. This is just mostly for you to take your time and walk around a little bit. You'll notice we've got some clouds here made out of little strangely shaped blocks. Kind of zipping around. If we want, we could fall all the way down here. And that'll actually... Will this get us to a place we can be useful? No, I don't think so. I think this might just be a dead end. Oh no. Okay, no, I didn't realize it wrapped around behind. I went a different way to get down there the first time. So you can actually, like, fall through these ramps and stuff and end up coming through. Alright, so let's go down to the next floor. I feel like I'm playing Isaac saying that. And let's see what the next puzzle's gonna be, huh? Oh, this one's cool, actually. Alright, so you got the door to the next zone on the floor. And of course our push-pull blocks are right here. By the way, I can retract these by right-clicking too, so it's not like they're stuck in one direction. So we're going to stand on this one, raise it as high as it goes. The amount of height that it gets is very small, actually, so we're just going to raise all of these and extend them out as far as they all go. Come closer, it says. Turn around, and all of a sudden, what was the floor is now the wall. And that's where we came in, sideways. It's kind of pretty weird. I like what that does to your head a little bit. I kind of wish there were more puzzles that were in that same vein. I think that may be one of the only times that actually happens. Man, I'm going to go through this whole thing so much more quickly than I did the first time. Alright, so now we're actually up onto the third terrace. I think the first time I went through this, I was just really taking my time looking at everything. So I'm wondering if my estimation of 30-ish minutes might be pretty far off. If you actually know what you're doing, I think you probably cut it down to like 10-15 minutes. Now, this definitely isn't Antechamber. It's got a similar vibe, so I definitely see where people are coming from in saying that. But as far as the way the game works, it's pretty substantially different. Alright, so we've got this way to cross here. Then we've got this extender one here. And what you'll do is you'll take it across, realize this doesn't quite reach, and realize you can jump here. Then, where do you go past that? There's not really another place. Everything just sort of seems to terminate. So let's fall down here. And if I can, I'll just kind of fall off, because there's actually some text. The floor, Jerry, again with the floor, it said. So that's actually not what we're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is come over here and line this sucker right up. There we go. And all of a sudden, it should bridge the gap nicely. Okay, so we get across here. That's going to give us access to the upstairs region, which seems to get bigger and bigger. Very foreboding ambience going on in this area, too. So we'll just extend these until they go to their maximum point, I suppose. And I will assume I should be able to get my way up. Yep. Now, it looks like that's where we want to end up, right? We want to get up to that next section. So it looks like the path is beckoning us ever upward. And where would we go from here? This looks like the top, huh? Well, wouldn't you know it, if you stand in just the right position, you should actually be able to link up that bridge, thereby giving yourself a platform across. So actually we just made that happen. I can't actually even retract that even if I wanted to, but it's kind of a neat way to do that. I kind of wish some of the puzzles actually got a bit more complex as we got further on. Or maybe complex is not the correct word, but just more protracted, just had more steps involved, because some of them feel like they're kind of easy to get through. And that's not even just knowing what they are, but it just seems like there's sort of one or two moves in each puzzle, which, you know, is okay. But I really like this premise, and it feels fun to play with, so I could just kind of wish there was more meat to it. But this is supposed to be a prototype game, so there is a chance that there will be more developed later on. And I sincerely hope that is the case, because this is very well done indeed. Is there a way up? I want to believe that there's a way up to that top area, but I don't think there actually is. There aren't any blue areas either that I can try and link to something, so I guess I just have to leave that behind. It kind of feels like the game is teaching us a bunch of things that ultimately we never really get the payoff from. Like, we get all of these little things we learn about, like all the ways we can orient these sliding blocks, we learn about all the different positions we can set up, the various links. Well, I guess this is the room that would ultimately be that big test, but it's a pretty moderate test of your abilities, honestly. I think most people shouldn't have much of any trouble with this. If anything, you might have to jump down and back up once, but that's not a big deal, is it? I wouldn't think it is. Basically, we're just going to extend everything out to its maximum, and then we're just going to go up it. And there's going to be a point where we might have to come back down. Depends on where I catch the perspective from. Let's pull these out already, too, if we can. Yep, and I think I've actually already saved myself some trouble by just stopping there. Because what we want to do is find the correct angle that I think that lines up with that. So we want to go almost straight underneath it. Like right about here. There we go. And then we want to somehow link these guys to something else. I don't actually remember what the conundrum is here yet. I might actually need to go up just to see what it is that I'm supposed to do. So all that time I spent trying to save myself time, I ended up not actually saving anything. Oh, it's the... Yeah, I'm dumb. It's the darker blue one that I'm trying to link up, not the light blue ones. Those are already done with. So we're just going to jump down here and do one of these, I guess, right? Yeah, there we go. Alright, all puzzles have been completed. Now we can actually just make our way up. Nothing too complex. It's a strange little assortment here. These blocks are all just sort of haphazardly scattered on top of each other. Look at that. That's cool. Kind of wish we got to go up through the top of that thing. And you might be able to hazard a guess at where this is going to put us, and what the implications of us being here are. So we find ourselves at the top terrace now, and the reason that we want to be up here is because the whole game was essentially trying to set us up to be in a position where we have perspective to be able to connect an object that will allow us access to that big door, right? So that's what we remember the conundrum was prior. And by the way, if I go through these doors, I believe they just bring us to puzzles we've already seen. I want to just double check that. I'm pretty sure I have already seen these, but I would be... I'd laugh pretty hard if it turns out there were like secret levels that I just never went into. Oh, it just loops around to the other terrace. Got it. Okay, that's not going to help me at all. Okay, so you can see over here we've got a few bits of turquoise that we want to try and line up. What we're trying to do here is, as with... oh, I don't know if there's one I can show you from here, but as with the other doors that we went into, they all have these little gems. So we want to try and do, like, something like that. There we go. So that has now fallen into place. Now, normally, when we get these elements together, what we would want to do is click on it. That's been the way that we've activated them in the prior elements of this progression, but in this particular case, that's not the case anymore, because that one does not click. What we can do, however, though, is remember when I looked up at this in the first place and revealed to you that it was actually a clock? Well, now we've got all the mechanisms in place, and staring at it dead on is actually going to line them back up, which will allow them to all take effect. So there we go. We've activated the doorway. The gate has been opened. Oh, that's pretty. Is it going to stop doing that at any point? Oh yeah, this part's a little bit difficult to look at, actually, so if you have any issues with photosensitivity, this might not be your favorite part. Oh, it's making me a little dizzy. Ah! Can you stop? Can I just go through this? I was just supposed to walk into it. I'm dumb. I thought it was going to finish its animation, but it never did. And just like me, to, of course, try to walk backward as soon as I'm given another option. So we find ourselves in Chromatic Aberration Canyon World, where all of the colors are separated, and the view is all glitched out and weird. And where are we going? That's the big question. It's got to be somewhere big and important for us to have spent all this time trying to assemble this quantum clock that would allow us in, right? Oh, what is this off in the distance? I see what appears to be some sort of giant structure. There's maybe a city. Maybe we can get down... Oh. End of file. Alright, well, I guess we can look around the other side. Oh, it's the end of the game! Well, here are the credits. We can take a moment and look through them. Actually, a surprisingly large team. Or, well, maybe not surprisingly is the right way to say it, but bigger than usual for a lot of the games that I cover. But you can tell that there's a lot of quality and time and effort that has gone into this. And basically we find ourselves here at the edge of the world, and it says thank you for playing. I was so disappointed because I wanted to see more. I thought that city looked so cool. I wanted to get down there and start exploring more puzzles of the same nature or other gameplay elements. It just seemed so cool. I just really love the elements of all of it put together. Even the Stark art is just really pretty as well. I mean, the colors are very, like, kind of dampened. They have a lot of gray in them, and that up against the white is just an interesting juxtaposition. So, yeah, you're saying jump. It actually doesn't do anything. I've done that. It just pops you back up again. I was hoping that the big secret was going to be that eventually a cloud would come so close that I could jump on top of it and then ride it out somewhere else secret. And being the mischievous game player that I am, I discovered very quickly that I could actually jump up from this ledge. Ooh, not like that. Could jump up from this ledge onto that pillar and kind of weasel my way around the outer edges of this top part, which you're not really supposed to be up on. There's not also a reason to do this either, but eventually the clipping stops working and you fall through them. It's kind of silly. Anyway, so since this is supposed to be a prototype, all I can really hope is that at some point these same people will come back together and create a bigger, better creation out of the same idea, and maybe let us see what we could have seen if we could have kept walking down into that valley, because this is just really, really cool. It gives me a total, like, Fract plus Antichamber vibe in a total unique and different way. And again, I don't have issues with people comparing them as long as they get that this isn't just, like, some kind of rip-off or anything, 'cause it's not. It's got its own thing going on. Stop breaking my games like you break my heart, sorry. Anyway, that's been End of File. I recommend it. It's definitely a cool game, and for anybody that wants to go grab it, you can download this version of it for either Mac, Windows, or Linux, all for free. There's a 32 and 64-bit version. It runs in Unity, so I'm not sure if you'll really see much of a performance gain. It's pretty well optimized in the first place. I don't think I ever had the thing dip below 60 FPS, but, you know, I just wanted to show this off. It's a real cool game, deserves some recognition, and could be fun if you want to play it with a friend to watch them figure out the puzzles and talk about it and stuff. So anyway, if anybody wants to try it, there will be a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're on Twitch, feel free to link it in chat even more. Mag just did that, so thank you very much. And that's going to be it for End of File, because there's literally nothing else I can do. I was really hoping that was going to be the cloud that I could jump onto. It seemed closer than all the other clouds. They almost look like little, like, Gradius ships, don't they? Cool stuff. I want to go where they're going. They seem to have it all figured out. Why can't I be over there with them? Anyway, let's close this one out and move on to something else. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you later.